Well, it's time. I have been waiting for this season 2 for a long time. Well, not a long time because it came out earlier, but still. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to talk about The Promised Freaking Neverland Season 2. Yes, The Promised Neverland Season 2. Now, here's the thing. The first season of The Promised Neverland got me gasping so many times. So many moments in the first season of The Promised Neverland. It hit me. With this great opening, like na 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 na, and especially how they say with fire, and that was all that. It was great, and then seeing how the first season went through, where we're seeing like the whole concept of evolve with kind of like a chicken run thing, and you got demons feet is eating children. That's kind of that was a thing out there, and that was like the scariest thing I've seen. And then you got an antagonist with the name of Isabella, who, by the way, won anime in the Crunchyroll Anime Awards last year. She was known for best antagonist, and she won. I mean, she beat all the greatest antagonists out there, like Overhaul. And the thing was, now looking at the first season, this show was gonna be a first ballot pick as the anime awards for anime of the year or whatnot. And I understand Demon Slayer won, which I wasn't surprised because those two shows were like going back and forth for who's going to win between Demon Slayer and Promised Neverland. But props for the show for winning Best Antagonist and Best Fantasy. Now, after season 1, it ended with them escaping through the Grace Fields and into the new horizon, the new dawn of what's out there of the walls. Kind of like how you see in Made in Abyss. You know how Made in Abyss is when they go down and see other, future stuff, how that is. I like that season 2. And I gotta say, I love this show so much. I had to watch this show twice just to understand how this is really good. And I had to compare the first season to the second season opening and the endings because they both have similar traits in some ways. So, without further ado, here it is, the review of The Promised Neverland Season 2, Episode 1. Now, first season left off with them escaping from Isabella. And they had left all the kids. Most of the kids had to stay. Now, what season 2 did? Emma and the others being chased by a freaking CGI demon with 6 arms and multiple eyes. And so I'm like, oh my god, this is great. And while they're being chased, there was one of the comments Emma said. And it says, freedom is so beautiful, yet so cruel. And that kind of hit me. That kind of hit me when they said that. Like, freedom is so beautiful, yet so cruel. That kind of hit me because it's like it means, I had to break it down a little bit. What it means is like they are free, but out there, it's cruel. Like, you may be free from this place. You may be free from the Grace Fields, from Isabella clutches, but when you leave the Grace Field and you escape through the walls, it's not freedom out there. It's cruel out there, so it's not safe. And then they go right into the opening. And I gotta say, the opening had a few secrets now. Not a few secrets, the secrets are out. Like, when you look at the first season of The Promised if you look at the first opening of The Promised Neverland, you notice that had some secrets. But then you look at this opening and they're like, okay, the secrets are out. We're gonna break it down, this opening. And what they did in this season 2 opening, okay, here's how this works. Okay, we're gonna have children eating the rabbits. So it's like a food chain. What they showing is like a food chain. Like, okay, here's the rabbit. Humans are eating the rabbit in a plate. And then we got a plate full of humans, and demons are eating the humans. So it's a food chain thing going on. And it's funny, I love how the opening show Phil leaving, like Phil staying with the kids. I'm like, Phil, the little boy Phil, he was my favorite side character. You guys can't lie, he is my favorite side character ever. Oh yeah, and by the way, I read the manga, so I'm not gonna spoil at anything. But like I said, I like how Phil got some screen time in the opening. You know what I mean? Like, he may not be with Emma and the others, but at least he got screen time. Also, I love how they're showing what we expect from this season. Now that the secrets is out, we're going to see a lot of things. Like the human with the white hair, I ain't going to mention his name, but we're going to see him. We're going to see the other human. Hell, we're going to see all the other moms. So, yeah, I like what they did. And the demon, the good demon girl. Now, what I mean is they're going to give us everything. Everything. They're going to break it down to all of the moments that we're going to get from this season. And they're not going to leave anything out. But but overall, the opening for The Promised Neverland Season 2 was really good. I loved it. I was gasping my ass of just looking at it. So I went back and listened to it 3 times. And if I had to pick between that opening and the first opening, it's tough. I can't decide. They both good. Now, let's move on. As they escape from the demon, we're back again with Emma, Ray, the best duo I've seen right now since Norman's not there. And all the kids are asking, "Where's Norman? I miss Norman. Is Norman there?" I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to spoil anything, but we'll get to Norman later on if they keep going with this. But other than that, Ray and Emma's duo is so unique. They solve puzzles in an instant. Like with the Morse code around the owl and the coordinates that they need to go, they are so freaking smart of this whole thing. Like Gilda and the others are not, but those two are living it. And then we look at the animation, the CGI graphics, the art style of The Promised Neverland Season 2. We look outside the field. Flying fishes, floating jellyfishes, different plants that has water and some not. You're looking at this show and you're thinking, the art is really getting there. I mean, like the trailer showed us what we expect with Emma using a bow and arrow and that, but we're looking at what we see. This is really good. And they're giving us every little detail as it goes along. Finding out the coordinates to find William Minerva. So it's really getting to that part when we're like, oh, okay. All the pieces are coming together. Everything's aligned. We just got to get to that specific location. I said specific location, but it's there, and they're being chased by this demon and these big ass demon dogs for whatnot, and then right off the gate, they're being chased by a demon. They're being chased by that demon. So what I mean is, what they did, it got to that point where it's like, okay. You want to know how they got chased? Right off the back, they're being chased by a demon. And what I like about this is it's kind of comparison to High School of the Dead scene. And I know it's weird to compare this to High School of the Dead, but hear me out for a bit. Remember how the first episode of High School of the Dead, which is my religion, it went with Rei, Takashi, and Hisashi running from a horde of demons, and they run to the rooftop, and then Hisashi got bit. Then then we see how he got a bite on his arm. And then you ask yourself, okay, what led to that moment? What led to them getting to the roof? And then as you watch the show, you realize, okay, so that's what led to the moment when they got into the roof. That's what led to Hisashi got bit. I like shows where I like it where they got into that part where they're like, okay, we're going to run. I mean, I like how they start off with them running and then they explain how they met up with that demon. Just like with with the zombies. So just like with Promised Neverland Season 2, it had like Gem chasing, and you want to know what led to them being chased by a demon? That's what they did. So around that, they just showed it. Oh, and by the way, can I say something? I love how they opening also show Connie. Man, talk about missing Connie already. They even show Connie with the bunnies. And showing not just Connie, but all the other kids that were being taken away by the demons. So damn, way to go. Now, you gotta give Ray credit in this episode as well. You gotta give Ray credit. Back in Season 1, Ray was kind of playing the double mole agent in the Season 1. Now in Season 2, he's all independable. He's relying on his friends, and he's not using them, and he's trusting them more and more as it goes along. I mean, he sacrificed himself. He even sacrificed himself to be chased by the demon. He even helped Emma out in time of need, so everything was set out. And then all of a sudden, as he put coordinates on the wall, on the tree, he was being saved by a demon. a demon, no less, riding a horse. Emma, who's had an infection in her ear because they increased get rid of the signals, the coordinates on her ear, a transmitter, nonetheless. Off her ear, she was burning up. And I'm like, oh boy. And then they encountered the demon girl, who they thought it was a human because they got to cover her hoodie. So you couldn't really see her, but from that distance, people was looking at her as a human, pointing her away to be safe, And then, as Emma and Ray was being saved by the demons, by the young demon child, nonetheless, it ended with a cliffhanger with Ray saying, "Oh, about you're a demon, aren't you?" He knows right off the gate that was a demon. Emma was surprised, and it ended just like that with a cliffhanger. Now, was it a bad or good cliffhanger? I said, to be honest, it was a good cliffhanger because it's going to be the answers are going to be right next week. The answers are going to be coming. See, there are good cliffhangers and there are bad cliffhangers. What we got from this episode is a good cliffhanger. I didn't see nothing wrong with it. It ended with a cliffhanger to have people questioning, should we trust this demon or not? And, just that's the thing about those cliffhangers. It's like, we got to wait and see, do we want to trust them or not? Kind of like how every cliffhanger is when you're like, tell me who you are. And then it's just ending with a cliffhanger. Or anything like, stuff like that. Questions ourselves if we trust them or not. Now, here's the thing. I'm not even going to spoil, like I said before, I'm not going to spoil anything about The Promised Neverland. I'm not. I read the manga, so I ain't going to spoil nothing. But for people who watching this anime up to this point right now, you got to ask yourself, do you trust this demon or not? All the hints were there. They saved Emma, they saved Ray. What else do you want from them? So, let's see. Now, the ending is so peaceful. It had a little peaceful segment of the two demons, so I really admire that as well. Kind of like how the first ending is with Isabella. So it's there, it's so pure and innocent, just like they do it. And the thing with The Promised Neverland, they kind of put out a good hype opening and then a pure ending. Now, here's what I'm gonna say overall. This episode is so great that the CGI of the demons was okay. The animation of the characters was okay. The art style, yeah. The storyline back to where it's at. It stayed the same, so that's great and all. Now, here's what I'm going to say overall. This Promised Neverland Season 2, and I'm going to say this now, so y'all can send this vote. You can send this video and post it out on Twitter and Instagram because I'm about to say this. The Promised Neverland Season 2 will be a first ballot pick for the Anime Awards of 2021. I'm going to say this again. The Promised Neverland Season 2 will be a first ballot pick for the Anime Awards 2021. I mean it. I could see this show being nominated for multiple awards. Best opening, best ending, anime of the year, best boy, best girl, best protagonist, best antagonist. I see it fitting. Best fantasy. But like I said, if this show is going to trend more than Attack on Titan final season, this show is going to trend more than Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm sorry. It's going to trend more than Jujutsu Kaisen. It's going to trend more than Haikyuu. It's even going to trend more than Beastars and Ray Zero. Hell, it's going to trend more than My Hero Academia Season 5, which is going to come out in the spring. But like I said, The Promised Neverland Season 2 it gave us the hype of what we got from the trailer. It gave us everything we wanted to know what we gonna see. And the opening itself gave us what we expected out of it. And I loved it so much. So overall, like I said, great show to start off 2021 with a dope ass show. That's all. Now, like I said, this was one of the shows I just was likely to review. I know this video is long, but I can't help it. This was the hype show. But thank you for watching this video of The Promised Neverland Season 2. I look forward for next week's episode. I can't wait to see everybody's jaw drop in next week's episode with facing demons or whatnot and the kids escaping them. So let's see how that works out. So thank you for watching this episode, and I look forward for next week.